So hi guys. So I welcome you all for the 5 editorials of the week series. So we are meeting from the class. This is the first time we are meeting from the class. So it is going to be something new. So in this initiative, we'll be identifying 5 important editorials from Hindu and discussing that in with respect to mains point of view. Okay. So our only objective is to take these stock points for the mains answer rating, and so that the editorial preparation is fruitful and productive. So today we have identified another 5 editorials. So let us go into the video. So already we have discussed the 20 editions. So this is the 21st edition. We are already halfway mark. I hope you all are revising it. So revision is very important. I hope you are revising all these things. So today we have identified another 5 editorials for 21st edition. Actually, the number is wrongly printed there. So first editorial is regarding agricultural credit, the issues with respect to the farm loans. The second one is with respect to the shipping sector. So what are all the problem in India's shipping sector? And third one is regarding United Nations Security Council's interest of India. And the next one is not an editorial actually. It is just an article. But it was as important as editorial because our external affairs minister gave a speech regarding India-China relations. So I've taken that one, and last one is about the regulation of the big technology companies. Okay, so these are all the 5 editorials. So let us go for the today's session. The first editorial for the day is written by Mr. Mittal. So Mr. Mittal is vice chairman of Punjab State Planning Board. So he is from the government and he is writing about the and he is also an expert with respect to agriculture, and he is writing regarding the issues with respect to agricultural credit. So in this editorial, what he is telling, government is giving farm loans. Yeah, government is providing loans to the farmers. Loans are being given, but the issue is how much loan is actually benefiting the farmer. How many farmers are actually getting benefited because of this loan, and agriculture is getting improved. So that crisis, there is some crisis with respect to the farm loan. So that is being discussed here. So let us go into the editorial. So in GS paper 3, we are having this topic called farm subsidies. So farm credit is part of the farm subsidy because government is giving farm credit at subsidized rate. So there is some interest subvention. So they are giving at the low interest rate. So that interest rate subvention is being paid by the government to the banks. So it is part of farm subsidies. Okay. So and it can also be, in general, it is related to economy. So that is one thing. And if you could see in UPSC previous year, this farm loan waiver has been a question which is UPSC is asking repeatedly. Ever since I think so, there was a question in 2010 also, when there was a big farm waiver in 2009. They asked in 10, and there was a question in 13. And in optionals, in many optionals, they will be asking like PubBad or geography. They are asking. So this is one favorite area. So we can expect a question here. So farm loans are not benefiting the farmers in crisis. Instead, large farmers and other rich people are getting benefited. So that is the crisis here. So if you could see, there has been incremental target for the farm loan. So every year budget will fix. So now we are having a budget on January. Every year budget will fix the targets for the farm loan to be achieved by the banks. And we are also having this options called priority sector lending, where 40% of the loan should go to priority sector. Among that 40, 18% is being given to the agriculture. Among 18, 8% should go to small and marginal farmers. So like that, we are having ambitious target. Every year there has been incremental targets regarding farm credit. Like for example, in 2011-12, the target for the total farm credit agricultural loan was 4.7 lakh crore. But if you could see last year, this is the last year's budget target, 15 lakh crore. And this year it is being expected, unofficially it is being expected that it is going to be 90 lakh crore for this year's target. So on Monday we will know what is going to be the target. So if you could see, there is an incremental increase. Every year government is trying to give more farm loans to the people, but in reality we have to check whether it is benefiting the farmers or not. If you could see, still 85% of farmers' income is stagnant. Even though we are providing almost 15 lakh crore of credit to farmers, then why 85% of the farmers' income is stagnant? Among all 100 farmers, 85% farmer income is constant. It is not improving at all. So it is very much constant, and our government is aiming to double the farmers' income. So what is happening? What is the crisis? Where the money is going? So that is the question here. So you can use this fact. So these two facts are very important. Like when you're writing answer, you can draw a graph like this. Like you can show that incremental nature. In 2011, it was 4.75. Then it is 15. Then it is 19. So you can draw a graph like this and explain in answer writing. So that is the importance of this data. So make sure you are mugging up such data and writing it in the answer. And this is also very important area because there is this issue of doubling the farmer's income. So this 85% is always very important. So the second point, agricultural credit increased by 500% in last decade. From 2010 to 2020, the amount of farm loans given is almost increased 500%. But if you could see, the ratio of small and marginal farmer to marginal and large farmer. So if 2 hectares is the mark, if the farmer is having the land less than 2 hectares, that farmer is called to be small and marginal. So so small means it is below 1 hectare, marginal means 1 hectare to 2 hectare. Then we are having above 2 hectare to 4 hectare, it is it is semi-medium. Then above 4 hectare it is medium, and above 10 hectare it is large. So you can see this classification. So if you could see the amount of farm loans given, only 15% of the loan is going to small and marginal farmers. 75% of the farm loans are going to medium and large farmers who are having lands above 4 hectares or 10 hectares. So these farmers are already rich. They are having large amount of land. They can use this concept of economy of scale and they can reap profits. But still, we are giving loans only to them, and all the loans which are given is benefiting only them. The real persons who are in crisis are small and marginal farmers. So that's why farm loans are not benefiting the farmers in crisis. So that is the issue here. 20% of the small and marginal farmers receive the subsidized loan. Among the small and marginal farmers, so already in India we are having almost 83% of farmers are small and medium farmers, marginal farmers only. So among that small and marginal farmers, only 20% are receiving. So among that 83, only 20% are receiving the loan. What about the rest? So this 15% is going to that 20%. And if you could see another interesting data, 95% of tractor loans and other farm implements. So 95% of the loans which is used by farmer to buy tractors or other agricultural inputs are coming from the NBFCs, non-banking financial companies, which is charging an exorbitant interest rate of 18%. So even government is giving almost 15 lakh crore of loans, then why 95% of the loans still farmer are getting from NBFCs? So that is the mismatch here. This is another important data which we can quote. So this is an argument for against farm loan waivers. So generally farm loan waivers is a populistic move before any election. Every farmer will ask before election. But even if you are giving farm loan waiver, whom it is going to benefit? Only large farmers are going to benefit because they got the loan. And if the loans are waived, means they are going to be benefited, not this 83% of poor farmers. So these facts can be used against as criticism for farm loan waivers. In last year's economic survey, there was a chapter regarding farm loan waivers and the issues regarding it. You can see that. I think so in the third or fourth chapter I would have discussed regarding the issues with respect to farm loan waivers. So the poor economics behind it. So what are all the problems now? Why this credit mismatch is happening? The first issue is loose definition of agricultural credit. If you could see the agricultural credit, banks are having target of 18%, but where this money is going? If you could see in close, these money instead of going to farmer, they are going to agri businesses. So there is this loose definition of farmers. So agri businesses means like those people who are selling, those people who are dealers, sellers of fertilizers, pesticides, machinery. Those people who are in agri business regarding input side and output side or transporters, they are also coming under the overall definition of agriculture. So these guys are getting all the farm credits. See, if you could see, this leakage of loans to large companies and agri businesses is the main issue. So instead of benefiting the farmer who is cultivating, these business people are getting the benefit. The person who is selling subsidy, fertilizer or pesticide or machinery. So this is the crisis here. And if you could see, 53% of the loans given by NABARD in Maharashtra, of total loans given in Maharashtra, 53% of the loan went to Mumbai and its suburbs. So Mumbai is one of the most urbanized region, and its suburbs are also will be urbanized only. But 53% of agriculture loan is going there where there is no agriculture, very less agriculture. So which shows that all the loan is going for these businesses. So this is one important data which we can use to argue against the farm credit. And the third one, so another important issue here is farm loans value exceed the agri GDP of many states. If you take the total agri GDP, the contribution of agriculture GDP of a state, let's assume that agri GDP of Tamil Nadu is 100 crore. I'm just assuming. Okay, the farm loans given in Tamil Nadu is 150 crore. Total agriculture GDP 100 கோடி தான். 150 கோடி எங்க இந்த farmers loan போச்சுங்கிறது. So this is a very big mismatch. Agriculture contribution 100 கோடி தான் வருது. எப்படி 150 கோடி loan வந்து farmers க்கு போச்சு. இந்த மாதிரி வந்து there is a very big mismatch. Farm loan values are exceeding the agri GDP in many states like Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. So these three are having the large value. So that's why I mentioned it. And there is a huge misuse by farm credit by large farmers. There is another phenomenon. these large farmers who are having land above 10 hectares, what they are doing, they are already having enough money. So they are not having any necessity to get the credit, but they are having all the power to get a credit. So what these guys are doing, they are getting agricultural loans at the interest rate of 6% or 7% and giving that money as conservative or like usurious interest rate to the small farmers. They are becoming money lenders. They are getting cheap credit from bank and becoming money lender and giving that money to farmers at the higher interest rate of 18% or 20% and getting money. So these large farmers, instead of using the money for agriculture, they are already having enough money to spend for agriculture. So they are using this money to earn money as becoming a money lender. This large farmer becoming a money lender by misusing the agricultural credit is the biggest problem with respect to the farm credit, which should be checked. And we are also not charging any income tax on them. These large farmers above 10 hectares. So that is another important crisis with respect to the farm loan. So what is the way forward here? So instead of giving instead of giving agricultural loans, you stop giving this subsidized agricultural loans. Instead of that, give direct income support per hectare, like PM Kisan scheme. PM Kisan scheme giving 6,000 for a farmer is a very good scheme. It is a very much welcome scheme. So instead of giving only 6,000, what we can do, we can follow this Raitu Bandhu model. So what is this Raitu Bandhu model? Any idea? What is this Raitu Bandhu? Have you heard this word, Raitu Bandhu? So Raitu Bandhu is a agriculture scheme of Telangana. So it is a Telangana government scheme. Raitu means farmer, Bandhu means friend. So farmer's friend scheme. What they are giving? They are giving, I think so, they are giving 10,000, I think, 10,000 per hectare for a farmer. So instead of giving income transfer, they are giving, sorry, per acre, they are giving, yeah, tell me. Yeah. That is a solution, very good solution, yes. So that is what they are telling. Instead of giving the agriculture loan, give direct income support to farmers based on the hectare. If a farmer is having 2 hectares, so give 10,000 per hectare. So he will be getting 20,000. So with that money, he can get the, instead of giving fertilizer subsidy, power subsidy or subsidized agriculture credit, give this 20,000. Let him buy with the 20,000 the fertilizer or pesticide or whatever he wants. So this will be the right model instead of giving, like he's telling. Instead of giving the agriculture support, follow the Raitu Bandhu model. There is also another scheme called Kalia of Odisha. So Kalia of Odisha is also a similar scheme. So these schemes came even before the PM Kisan. Based on Raitu Bandhu only, government brought this PM Kisan. Then higher crop loans to farmer producer organizations. So instead of giving loans to large farmers, don't give loans to large farmers, give instead to the farmer producer organization. Farmer producer organization is a self-help group or a cooperative kind of a model where small farmers come together, pool their land and pool their money and they do the agriculture together. So instead of giving loans to large farmers, give loans to them and use digital technology for loan dispersal. And like for example, we are having a lot of digital penetration now. We can use this digital technology or digital apps so that the access to farm credit is easy. So every time farmer no need to come to bank and standing in line and getting the approval, giving the records. So that is a huge process. Instead of that, what we can use the satellite imagery. We are having this satellite imagery. With that help, we can digitize the land records. And directly when if a farmer is going and applying, we can link it to this app or his Aadhaar card. So with the help of Aadhaar card, we can identify how much land he is having. So if 2 hectares land is, what credit is needed, we can give that. So this will also prevent the leakages. So we can use the technologies to alleviate this problem. So this is the first editorial. So the thing to be taken from this editorials is the factual points which are needed for main. So note on the facts. These facts are very important. Please mug it up. So the next one is about the shipping sector at sea. So this is written by Joe D. Cruz. So Joe D. Cruz is a writer. He has written a lot of books also, Tamil books. At the same time, he is also a person who is doing the shipping business. So, so he has written the problems in the Indian shipping sector. So I think he also came once to KingMakers IAS Academy for a special lecture. He was talking about the shipping once. So it was in 2015, almost 6 years back. He came to KingMakers. So I still remember. I was a student when he came here. So shipping sector is at sea. So is at sea means it is distress. At sea means it is used to give some negative connotation. So in GS paper 3, we are having infrastructure and ports are part of the GS paper 3, very much relevant to the topic. The structural issues around the Indian ports. So we are having the ports. We have developed a lot of ports. We are having 13 major ports in India and many minor ports. So and we are also constructing a port in Iran, Tabahar port. And we are also planning to construct ports in Seychelles and Maldives. We have asked for the permission. Seychelles, Maldives, and Mauritius. All these nations, we are also having a negotiation like similar Chabad port model. We are also planning to establish. Okay, now we are doing all these things, but still, India is still not an maritime power as equal as China. So what is the issue? So that is what is being discussed. So China, see, if you could see India is having a peninsular region which is having coast at all the sides, almost 75, almost 15,000 kilometers of maritime border we are having. But if you could see China is having coast only in the east. Only one side of the country is having the coast, and geographically also that the region is not that suitable as India. The geographical advantage for India to establish ports is higher than that of China because of our continental shelves and other things, especially the western coast. But if you could see, even though because of geographical restrictions, China is, if you could see, 7 of the top 10 container terminal ports in the world are from China. Of the top 10 container ports in the world, 7 are located in China. So how is this possible? This is possible because of the strong merchants. The people who are in the shipping business, they are very strong and they are very large and they are able to reap the economy of scale. At the same time, so ease of doing business is very high. Second thing is robust infrastructure. The port infrastructure is the most advanced port infrastructure in the world is located in China. So that is the reason why. So China, we all know it is an export dependent economy. For an export dependent economy, the number one thing which you need to survive is port. So that is also the main reason. So when China could do this, what are all the main reasons? So these are all the 2 main reasons. So if you want to make India as a superpower in port, what you have to do? You make our Indian merchant also strong. Bring in ease of doing business, make our merchants strong so that they are able to invest large and develop, and government should construct some robust infrastructure in the port. The port infrastructure is very important. The carrying capacity, the turnover time of the port is very important with respect to the logistics and time. So that we have to take care. So China has recently started this Belt and Road Initiative and constructing a lot of ports around the world. It is using as the geopolitical strategy also. They are using ports for a geopolitical strategy to emerge as a regional player and a strong player in Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean. They are also eyeing to emerge as a strong player in Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean, which is the region of India. So with this strong infrastructure only they are doing. So that is what the first point he's arguing. What is the problem in India? So there are many problems with respect to port sector. So let us restrict only with the editorial here, whatever he mentioned here. So in this editorial, he is talking about the onshore infrastructure. We will always be thinking about, if port infrastructure means what, we will be always thinking the jetties located there, the cranes located there, the container handling capacity. We will be imagining only that. But in order for a port to be an efficient port, you should also have an onshore infrastructure. Like for example, we are having Chennai port here. So we should not only focus about infrastructure development in Chennai port, this port should also be well connected with the hinterland. Like for example, it should be connected with all the larger cities nearby. Like for example, Chennai to Bangalore should have a very robust highways and goods train also. A dedicated freight corridor should be there. And we should also ensure that container is able to move fast from the Chennai port. So onshore infrastructure, this road connectivity, and it should be connected to nearby highways. If you are having a large highway nearby, this Chennai should be connected to that large highway so that the transport is easy. Only if this onshore infrastructure is supporting, then only the port can become efficient. Even though after building a state-of-art port, if you are not having proper road means what will happen? Like for example, take Chennai port. We can see the issue. So in order to make the Chennai port global port, what we did, we decided to bring in this project called Chennai port to Madurai link road. So from Chennai port, we decided to construct a over bridge where from directly a container can go get inside the bridge in the port, and it will cross the entire Poonamalli High Road, and it will come down only in Madurai. This bridge was planned almost 18 years ago in the Vajpayee government. But still, if you could see in Madurai, a lot of pillars are there. So it has been halted in between. Now, since we had this metro, now it is very difficult for us to construct. Or because we are having an infrastructure submarine, it is very difficult for us to construct a bridge now. So why we brought the bridge in? So that the cargo is efficiently moving out of Chennai. So most of the cargo coming to Chennai will be for other cities. So they should not be trapped in the traffic of Chennai. So that's why we constructed a dedicated overhead bridge, but the bridge couldn't be constructed. So such infrastructures are very essential, like in the form of road and railways, for boosting the carrying capacity. Then only the carrying capacity will be boosted. If such infrastructure is not efficient, means that will increase the cost of transport. So that is the problem which we are having. So foreign players. So if you could see the port sector, the local, since our port infrastructure is not as strong and as resilient, and our local port industry never grew because of the socialistic kind of an economy and dominance of the public sector enterprises. In all the ports we had this shipping corporation, which is public sector enterprise, which was doing the business, and all the port trusts are also public sector enterprises only. So private ports never came. So because of this, what happened? The private sector never grew, and the merchants in India are still weak. So all the port handling or merchant ship handling is done by foreign players. So that is the issue here. Foreign players are dominant, and majority of the coastal ship handling is done by foreign players. Indian entities are either subsidiary in the container handling and ship ownership. So what these Indian owners are doing, they are having the ship and they are working for that foreign players. They are lending their ship for lease, or they are lending the ship for rental for them, so that the foreign players can use their ship for their business. So these persons are not emerging as the as a strong player in the container handling or in the ship ownership. Instead, they are acting as subsidiaries. So this, if there is a dominant of foreign player, what is the issue? Means we had to pay them in dollars. A lot of money is going there, and they are also charging very high. So we need to make our local private sector strong with respect to the container handling and ship ownership. So that's why government brought this Sagarmala. Let us see about the Sagarmala. Like recently, Kattupalli port or Krishnapatnam port, a lot of private ports are also being encouraged, so that Adani port is also coming, so that the private sector can be strong. Lack of regional cargo specific ports. So this is another important structural issue. What is this cargo specific port? Cargo specific port means ஒரு போர்ட்னா அந்த ஒரு cargo தான் handle பண்ணும். If there is a port means it should handle only one particular cargo. Like for example, take Mangalore port. Mangalore port is having a lot of iron ore fields near it, so it should have the expertise of handling only iron ore imports and iron ore exports. So likewise, you identify the stronghold of the region and make one port specialized. Like for example, if at all India is exporting steel or importing steel, Mangalore port should be the only port where all the ships for export and import is coming. So that one port should be expertise in that cargo. Instead of like if you could see in India, all the ports are handling iron and steel. So அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறதுனால these ports are competing among themselves, and that is leading to cannibalism. Cannibalism means one species eating the same species. So this port, Chennai port, is competing with Tuticorin. What is the use of competing with Tuticorin? They both should be expertise in their own way. Like Tuticorin should be an expert with respect to their own strength. Like for example, take Paradip port of Odisha. A lot of oil fields are located there. Or Jamnagar port, a lot of Kandla port, a lot of oil fields are located there. So any oil import or export should happen only through Jamnagar near Kandla or Paradip. So likewise, identify the port. Like for example, Chennai port should be the expertise only for automobile export, because Chennai is the automobile hub of India. So Chennai port should handle only automobile exports and import. It should have the specialized infrastructure which is encouraging this car to be like in automobile port. What you will have, a lot of cars should be shipped in, and a lot of bikes should be shipped in, and the same automobile should be shipped out. So the infrastructure should be the state of art for that, so that no other port is competing with Chennai for automobile. So like that, cargo specific port should come, but existing ports with similar infrastructure in India compete with each other and leading to cannibalism. So Chennai port and Mangalore port are competing, and they are losing each other. So we have to develop infrastructure, proper port specific infrastructure, and connect it with the hinterland with the road, so that they are emerging as the transshipment hubs. So this is the thing. So in order to satisfy these needs only, government brought this scheme called Sagarmala. So Sagarmala scheme aims to solve all these three problems. So Sagarmala aims at port-led industrialization. So what is this port-led industrialization? India needs to industrialize. We will be using port as a hub, port as a tool to industrialize India. So by establishing what, like for example, the same thing, like just now I said, like for example, they are planning to establish a coastal economic zones. Like special economic zone, they are bringing in something called coastal economic zone under it. Coastal economic zone means each port will have a coastal economic zone surrounding it near the coast. So if, for example, if Chennai port will have a coastal economic zone near it, and that coastal economic zone will have automobile industries. All the automobile industries of India will be established there, so that for example, if Maruti is produced in Gurgaon, from Gurgaon those cars should come to a port and then they should be exported. If Maruti is establishing a facility in this coastal economic zone, means the transport cost will be saved. So that will increase the efficiency. So make the clusters around the port and use this coastal economic zone. This will not only improve your logistics and export, but it will also improve your industries. So port-led industrialization. Next, improve the logistics. So that is what logistics means: port handling capacity within the port, the efficiency of the infrastructure. Then connectivity, connect all the ports to the hinterland, connect to road, rail, and also the waterways. Develop this waterways also. Like for example, from Ahmedabad, the port should be capable of entering the Bay of Bengal. It should start from Ahmedabad, it should come through Haldia and go into Bay of Bengal and go to some international. So an international ship should be, of course, a large ship cannot enter Ganga, but small ships, so the connectivity should be there. So that is what they are telling. Coastal community development is a very important component of Sagarmala, where they will be training the coastal community here. Who is going to work in this coastal economic zone, or who is going to work in that particular ports? Those fishermen community or those coastal people who are living there, they should be provided the skill development and they should be employed there, so that it is creating a good employment opportunity for them. Like they were discussing in Vada Chennai. This is what Dhanush will be having. Enga edathileye engalukku improvement pannitaanga. So that is what, instead of bringing in something else, train them in their own capabilities and bring them the development. So coastal community development is also a very important component. Yeah, the scheme is very good in paper, but we are having a lot of issues with respect to the implementation, like any other issue in India. So coastal community should be, so what the author suggested, coastal community should be encouraged to become ship owners, and ancient proverbs should be revived. India is considered to be a coastal superpower. We know the Chola army and all the other armies of Marathas. So in the Indian history, Chola army and Maratha army are considered to be the greatest armies. So if such a, navies, I'm using the word army. Chola navy and Maratha navies are exceptional navies. So such a kind of a dominance we had in the port and maritime sector in the ancient time, you have to bring that back. So make this coastal community ship owners, not only as the employer, encourage them to become ship owners. He also mentioned the name of Wausi. Shipbuilding, ship repair and ownership. So like in order to boost this particular thing, okay, strong merchants, in order to make the strong merchant, those merchants should be from coastal community and they should be focusing on shipbuilding, ship repair and ownership. So this is what the author is suggesting here. So last one, he's talking about something related to governance. There is this body called National Shipping Board. This National Shipping Board is the apex body which is regulating this maritime port infrastructure or maritime shipping business. So this National Shipping Board is responsible for regulating all the activities. This is responsible for improving the port infrastructure or carrying capacity or anything. So this National Shipping Board, members of this National Shipping Board are generally appointed by the government, and there is this office called Directorate. It's not Directorate General of Shipping. So this Directorate General of Shipping, see, this National Shipping Board is an advisory body to the government which is going to make laws. This Directorate General of Shipping is going to implement this law. If you want to start a maritime shipping business, you have to go to Directorate General and get the license. So this particular body which is implementing is having a lot of corruption in it. So this body should be made more responsible and more accountable to National Shipping Board so that the corruption is being brought out and bureaucratization is reducing and strong merchants are emerging. So most of the case, this body is working in favor of the government companies, PSUs which are there in the shipping business and not the private sectors. So what the author is telling, without private sector, we cannot grow. So this particular body should reduce the corruption and make the merchants strong so that the shipping sector is robust. So these are all the points discussed in this editorial. So study about Sagarmala in detail. I've just discussed the 4 objectives. It is a large scheme. It is a detailed scheme. It is one of the excellent schemes, but still it is having a lot of issues, but still the idea is very excellent, which we should focus to implement. So study about Sagarmala, and geography optionals should see with more attention, so give more attention here. Okay, so the next editorial is about the pursuing the national interest at UN high table. So again, an editorial of Happymont Jacob. So in this editorial, he is focusing about what should be the ambition of India in these 2 years. How India should make its foreign policy in these 2 years. So international institutions and multilateral grouping is part of the GS paper 2, we all know. So India's agenda at UNSC tenure and ground reality. So first, what author is telling, like for the past 3 decades, we are having this ambition of becoming a permanent member in UNSC, but that is not anywhere possible nearby. Surely that is going to be an imaginary dream only because of the reluctance of all the major powers. These major powers like USA and UK in front, before the media, they are openly supporting it. But when they are asked to act, they are not bringing in any reform. So it is going to be a very difficult process. So India should not waste all their energy in these 2 years focusing on becoming a permanent member. Now, okay, we are having this ambition, we are doing this, but our energy should not go there because it is not going to happen, and China will sure it's going to veto, and there is going to be any confusion. So instead of focusing on that and wasting the energy there, let us focus on some other pragmatic priorities which we can have in this particular tenure. So India should pursue the national interest regionally and globally. So we are having certain regional interest here with respect to Indian Ocean and with respect to South Asia. And we are also having certain global interests, like with respect to climate change and anti-terrorism, and with respect to WTO negotiations. So like that, we are having regional interests and global interests. So India should use this opportunity to pursue those interests rather than chasing the chimerical goals. So you see this word chimerical. So chimerical is another vocabulary which you can add. You can just see the dictionary and you can learn, because UPSC might give that word in the, we have already seen. If you are not understanding the meaning of the word, we cannot write the answer. So chimerical means something which is illusionary. Instead of going behind this illusionary goal of becoming permanent members. Yes, it is a very good ambition, but whether it is practical or not, whether it is achievable in 2 years is a question mark. So India should pursue the national interest of both regionally and globally. So there is this emergence of new world order. So new world order, what he is mentioning by new world order means systematic uncertainty. There is a lot of uncertainties with respect to, already we have discussed this, uncertainties with respect to various multilateral groupings like WTO. WTO is not at all functional now. UNESCO is not having funds. WHO was under severe criticism for the pro-China bias. So like this, all the organization is under criticism. UNFCCC goals are not achievable. Even though if we are achieving, it is not going to help the world. So, so everything, there is a huge systematic uncertainty around the world. Little care for the global commons. So little care for the global commons means people are not considered about protecting the Arctic infrastructure. We are trying to bring in a new, a lot of nations around the Arctic are trying to exploit oil from the Arctic. There is a lot of oil reserve in Arctic Ocean, but if you are trying to exploit it, what will happen? It will destroy the Arctic infrastructure. We all know it is scientifically proven that the entire globe's climate or world's climate is determined by Arctic's ice cap. So Arctic's ice cap play a major role for regulating the global climate, because more number of ice, more the albedo. More the albedo means more rays will be reflected. If the ice cover is reducing means the earth will absorb a lot of heat and that will lead to global warming. So, but these guys are focusing to exploit oil from there. So we are already having enough oil, let us move towards renewable. Like that, there is no care for the global commons. Another global common is space sector. So what this Elon Musk was having. So Elon Musk is a very ambitious guy, he's a good guy. But what is one of the scheme is that providing internet, free internet to all by using mini satellites. I forgot the name, Starlink. Starlink dana, correct? So he's having this program called Starlink, where he's going to send 18,000 satellites. I thought 10,000 to 18,000. I forgot the name. Some 10,000 satellites he's going to send so that to provide internet to all. But what will happen? But he is not thinking about the space debris. That will lead to Kessler syndrome, and we have seen that in gravity. So we are not caring about the global commons. So that is the issue now, and it will lead to light pollution or space pollution, and there is a lot of issues regarding that. Absence of global leadership. There is no. We are aiming for a multipolar world. We thought that there will be a lot of poles which will be taking forward the world. Like for example, many things in the world is being taken forward by USA in the past. Like for example, climate change negotiation was done by USA, and there was an article regarding that also. How USA led the leadership for bringing in this climate change and UNFCCC. There was an article, but it was with respect to USA. That's why I didn't take it. But what is happening now? USA is turning the growth of narrow nationalism and inward-looking nationalism is rising. So they are caring only about their own local politics and not thinking about the global leadership. So that is one thing. There is a vacuum with respect to global leadership, and there is a huge division in the world. Again, a Cold War kind of thing is emerging. So this is the global order. So this is the unstable global order, and there is a new India. A new India which is not just a bystander in the global politics, but confident. India is very confident, resolute, and wants to be a shaper of geopolitics and center stage. So why I took this line means we can use this line while writing the answer. So this new India is not just bystander of the geopolitics, but confident, resolute, and wants to be the shaper of geopolitics. Because ever since 2014, we saw a lot of change in the foreign policy, where we are making resolute or confident decisions. We are taking confident decisions, and we are leading a lot of initiative globally, like International Solar Alliance, disaster resilient infrastructure, or bringing in this yoga day, or taking lead with respect to the climate change related targets. We are having a lot of ambitious targets, more than what developed nations could do. So that is a characteristic of New India. So world order is not good. New India is having this attitude. There is some intent. So we have to use the best of the intent of New India in this global world order. And another thing which we can focus is China factor. So China is always a competitor for us. Now with this line of actual control crisis in Ladakh, what is happening? The China is in an antagonizing position with respect to India. So we have to use our opportunity in United Nations Security Council as a non-permanent member to, for the best strategically, we have to use that opportunity to create a space for us in order to tackle China. So in this time we have to use it. So opposition of, so China, like for example, in this time US-India alignment is needed to check the Chinese aggression. So in United Nations Security Council we can align with USA and we can create a bloc, and so that we are getting the strategic advantage and we are getting this power to check China's growth. And we could see that because recently in 2022, India is going to be the chairperson of the Counter-Terrorism Committee. Counter-Terrorism Committee is UNSC's committee. Like Parliament is having parliamentary committees, UNSC is also having subcommittees. Among that, one committee is Counter-Terrorism Committee, which will be taking decisions regarding terrorism, anti-terrorism operations. So UNSC is also sending troops to control this terrorist operation. Like for example, they sent in Syria to control ISIS. So similarly, this Counter-Terrorism Committee's responsibility is to contain terrorism. So if India is becoming the chairperson of this Counter-Terrorism Committee, India will use all its energy to focus whom? To target Pakistan. So that is what we have to do. So India will do that. So for that, what Pakistan is doing, it is asking China to block it. So these kind of challenges are emerging. So this is the right time to align with USA and strengthen the Quad. So that is what the author is telling. We have to strengthen the Quad so that so we cannot be thinking about this non-alignment image. We have to do this multi-alignment, and realism is necessary. That is what he is writing in this article. We have to align with USA and India, because if we are thinking about non-alignment now, it might not reap any benefits, because we are in a new world order which is different from what it was there in 1950. So this is what Jaishankar also was talking in his lecture. So that is what you have to do. But what will happen? One disadvantage is the India-Russian ties will be affected because of this growing alignment of India with USA. But still, it is inevitable. In one era, we were with USSR. Now, in this era, it is suitable for us to be with USA. So we can change. So that is what the author is talking. So again, India is going to assume this chair of Taliban Sanctions Committee. There is also another subcommittee which is India is going to chair. It is Taliban Sanction Committee. So this is a separate committee established to check the Taliban and to bring in sanctions against them. And to that committee will be focusing on operations against Taliban. So this is a right time and right moment for us. But it is also a very crucial thing, because there is a negotiation going on with Taliban and Afghanistan government. We are anti-Taliban. Already we know this. The entire world knows this. And we are pro-Afghan government. So we have to use our opportunity here to bring in our interest. So we have to use this opportunity to reduce the power as much as possible, like Mountbatten did. What Mountbatten did in 1947. Partition has become inevitable. We have to partition the nation. So what he did, larger India and small Pakistan. So that is what this idea was. We have to make India as large as possible. We have to make Pakistan as small as possible. So this large India, small Pakistan concept can be used there. So we can try and use this opportunity to contain the powers of Taliban and strengthen the democratic government by using the opportunity here. But that India should approach with a lot of caution, because it is a delicate position. Each and every step will be a very delicate one. So India should approach it way. So like that we are having this issue of China, we are having this terrorism issue, and we are having many issues. Instead of focusing that, this is not right time to pursue our permanent membership. It is not going to happen anywhere near so. So instead we can focus our energy on these issues. So that is what the author is telling. And use this forum to build coalition among the like-minded nations. So we have to use this opportunity in UNSC and create coalitions with like-minded nations to set out priorities, like what? For climate change, so that it is equity principle is ensured in climate change, where developed nations are taking the steps and developing nations are getting the funds. So that equity should be there. Common but differentiated responsibilities as an idea and principle should be established And non-proliferation of nuclear weapons, that can also be pursued by India. That is a long term. And India should use this opportunity and drive this Indo-Pacific strategy. So we are planning to have this large long-term Indo-Pacific strategy. So we can use this moment to drive that particular strategy. So India should focus on these three agendas instead of focusing on permanent membership. So that is what the author is telling. So the next editorial for the day is regarding Jaishankar. So it is not an editorial, it is an article written, it is a speech given by Jaishankar. So, but it is very important, so I took this. So our External Affairs Minister gave a speech in All India Conference. Just a second. So he gave a speech in All India Conference for, oh, what is this? So recently he gave a speech in All India Conference for China Studies. So we have established this institute called Institution for China Studies. So this Institute of China Studies is established with the collaboration of IIT Madras. So why we have to study China? So China is a dominant player. China is going to be one of the important poles in the new world order. So if that is the case, we need to establish a separate institute where we are studying about the political, cultural and economic realities of China. We should study it now. Only if you are studying well, only if you are knowing the opponent well, we can tackle the opponent. For that only we established this institute where they will be studying about China. So he gave the speech of this year's speech. If there is no pandemic, means he would have come to Chennai and he would have given. So he gave it through online. So if it is possible, you can see the speech also. It is just 15 minutes. It is there in External Affairs Ministry's channel. So, but all the points were discussed very well in this one article itself. So we can just take the points given in this article. So again, India and neighborhood and bilateral relations with China. So Jaishankar suggests way forward for the China ties. So what you have to do? We are in a severe crisis now. Our relationship is under the huge exceptional stress. What the word? This is the word he used. The India-China relationship is under the exceptional stress. So how we have to come out of it? So that is what he is suggesting. Like he is suggesting a model like Panchsheel, like how Panchsheel was brought in 1954 to normalize the relationship with China. Similarly, he is giving a 8-stepped model. So 8-stepped principles. Panchsheel was why he is giving some 8 ideas. Presently, the relationship is under the exceptional stress since 1975 to 2020. So since 1975 to 2020, we didn't have any border issues, any border deaths. But in 2020, we had 20 deaths of Indian soldiers. And China didn't release their data, how many soldiers they died there. Borders were very peaceful, irrespective of the disagreements and differences in the past. We had a lot of disagreements, we had a war, we had this, but still borders were peaceful because of the economic interest. So Rajiv Gandhi government made sure that we also had this. Let us keep the border issue aside, let us focus on economics, let us focus on business. But still, this recent unilateral attempt of China to redraw LAC has created exceptional stress in the ties, and India has yet to receive a credible explanation. So this is what he said. So what use this? So see this word, unilateral attempt by China to redraw the LAC. So in the mari lines answer China is attacking India in border. In the mari or answer line unilateral attempt of China to redraw the LAC. In the mari answer. So if the answers are having such lines, then that improves the quality of the answer. So அதனால தான் இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்பீச்சஸ் இப்போ இந்த நோட்ஸ் வாட் யூ ஹேவ் டு டு ஜஸ்ட் ரைட் தி சென்டென்ஸ். இந்த சென்டென்ஸ் எழுதி வெச்சுக்கோங்க. ஸோ இதை நான் 2-3 வாட்டி பார்த்தா யூ கேன் improve your writing skills in that way. So unilateral attempt by China to redraw LAC. So with the delicate position with respect to LAC is that LAC is not demarcated on the ground. LAC is just an understanding. So LAC is just an understanding between India and Tibet. It is not marked in the ground. Like we are having the Ratcliffe line marked in the ground. But McMahon line is not marked on the ground. It is just an understanding. So குத்து மதிப்பா நிக்கிறாங்க, அவங்க ஒரு இடத்துல நிக்கிறாங்க, நம்ம ஒரு இடத்துல நிக்கிறோம். அவங்க நிக்கிற இடம் வரைக்கும் அவங்களது, the place till where we are standing is ours. So like that only it's happening. So if at all Indian army is coming out of that region, if China is coming there, means they will occupy it. So since because of this absence of demarcation on the ground, China what it is doing, whenever there is absence of Indian soldiers, means it is coming and occupying. So this has given a huge pressure on India. So எப்பவுமே வந்து Indian army should stand in the border. If you are leaving it, they will come. So in the threat இருக்கிறதுனால this see for the past 30 years that didn't happen. If at all it is happening, suddenly they will solve it. Within 2 days it will go. But from 2017 Doklam issue or this recent LAC crisis, there is a new vigor in China. So because China is becoming ambitious, it wants to send a message by doing all these things. See, even 1962 war itself was not actual intention. It was just to send a message. Now China is also trying to send another message by doing this. But India has asked for the explanation, but they didn't give any explanation till now. So India's relationship, so starting by using this word, India's relationship with China is having this duality of cooperation and competition. So in this entire past 4 decades, our relationship had both the cooperation at economy level and political level and competition at geopolitical level. Cooperation at economics level and competition at geopolitical level. It was going on. So this relationship is having this duality. So we made many common causes. There were many common causes for development. Like for example, India and China were aligning with each other in WTO and UNFCCC. With respect to climate change and WTO, we are aligning with each other and economic issues of various global economic issues. Again, India and China both are member in many plurilateral groupings like Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Then we are having BRICS. So we are having such regional arrangements where we are members together. So all these things took off only after 2015. The BRICS got its vigor after 2015. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization got its vigor after 2015. The relationship was going well till 2017. Of course, we had a severe Doklam standoff, but still it normalized in the next year itself. In 2018-19, it normalized. But again, in 20, we are facing this crisis. Educational import of China. So educational import means a lot of Indian students are going to China for the medical degree, for this to learn MBBS. So Georgia, China, Philippines, these are all the destinations for those people who couldn't get the MBBS seat in the government college. So they are using that as a second destination, and a lot of Indians are going to China to pursue the medical degree. And in telecom technologies also, we are having the close cooperation. So these are all the areas where we are having the close cooperation in general. These are all the generic points only. But there are differences also. So in this article, he listed the differences. The first issue was stapled visa issue, where Chinese government, instead of giving visa for the people from Jammu and Kashmir and Arunachal Pradesh, what it did? You are in Arunachal Pradesh, you are in Ladakh, both are our territory only. Why you want visa? Passport just they added a paper, a document, and they stapled it in the passport. என்னதுன்னா தனியா விசா ஸ்டாம்ப் கொடுக்காம இது ஒரே நாடுதாங்கிறதுனால இன்னொரு டாக்குமெண்ட் மட்டும் பாஸ்போர்ட்ல ஸ்டேபிள் பண்ணி கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. ஸோ அது that created a lot of issue in 2010, the stapled visa issue, so which was condemned by India. அதே மாதிரி opposition for the India's membership as a permanent member. So all the other 4 nations accepted. Even United Nations under Obama administration accepted that they will support India's permanent membership in UNSC, except China. Only China is opposing it. And NSG membership. So in 2008, we got a waiver from Nuclear Suppliers Group where they allowed us to import uranium. And India is the only nation which has not signed NPT and importing uranium. But India also tried to become member. See, India has become member in all the other arms cartels like Australia group or there are a few groups. So except NSG, India became member of all these arms cartels, but NSG membership China is blocking, and it is also telling that if India is becoming member, Pakistan also should become member. See, India is having credibility to become member because India never proliferated the nuclear technology. India is a responsible nuclear power. India is having the no first use policy, but China proliferated the nuclear technology to North Korea, and China is also illegally selling. So there is a threat that nuclear weapons might go to terrorists in in Pakistan. Anytime the Pakistan army can also give the weapons to the terrorists. We cannot say that. So if that is the case, how they will be given the new NSG membership? But China is opposing India's membership and blocking the UN listing. So India tried to list a lot of terrorists from Pakistan in the UNSC terrorism list, like Masood Azhar or Hafiz Saeed. So all these listings are being blocked by China. China is telling that there is no evidence that Masood Azhar created the 26/11 attack. So entire world know he did this. He did that. He himself accepted that he did that. But China is telling that there is no evidence. So So it is blocking the UN listing of Pakistan-based terrorists. But after 2019, because of the huge international pressure, they succumbed to this because Trump administration created a lot of pressure on China to accept it. So because of that only we were able to list Masood Azhar in the terrorism, but still they are supporting China, Pakistan there. And China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is part of the Belt and Road Initiative, we are not against Belt and Road Initiative. It's your project. Even India is also ready to become part of it. The issue we are having with Belt and Road is that it is passing, the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is passing through POK. If you are you are having a bilateral, it is a bilateral issue between Pakistan and China. No issue. But it is passing through Jammu and Kashmir. It is passing through Gilgit-Baltistan region. It is affecting the India's sovereignty. So that is what India is objecting. You change the course of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, we are not against it. But if it is passing through India, we will be opposing it. So these are all the differences in our issue and reluctance for market access. So in the editorial, it is very relevant for IR and the current issue. Market access means we are importing a lot of things from China. The trade deficit between India and China is very huge. But when you are trying to export, so in order to reduce this trade deficit, India also tried to export a lot of things which China can buy from India. Like for example, software exports, or India is trying to export a lot of horticultural crops, or there are many other things in the list. But China is reluctant to give 100% market access. So they are not opening their economy. So India can also block their market access, but we are dependent on them. So that is the crisis here. So they are reluctant for the market access, which is creating the huge trade deficit. So these are all the differences in our relationship. So these are all the cooperation, and these are all the differences. And we are having the intense competition in where we are having this competition with respect to export or with respect to emerging as a regional player in Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, and emerging as a maritime power, all these things. Okay, a keynote address by External Affairs Minister in 13th All India Conference of Chinese Studies. So study about this All India Conference of Chinese Studies, why it was established, when it was established, all those things for preliminary point of view. Okay. So what is the way forward? So he is suggesting a way forward. It will take time. So let us discuss in detail because it is a very relevant issue. So the answer rating points. So we should respect each other. Recognition of mutual respect, mutual sensitivity, and mutual interest. So mutual respect na inga mean pandranga. We have to respect each other's territorial sovereignty. That is first thing. Sensitivities, like for example, India is having certain sensitivities with respect to China, and China is having, like for example, India was, so China objected Kiren Rijiju becoming Home Minister. Kiren Rijiju is a person from Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh is a disputed territory. Home Minister is having the need for a, whenever between two nations cooperation, after External Affairs Minister, Defense Minister and Home Minister are the people who will be having the close contact. But this Kiren Rijiju, who was our Minister of State last year, in the last 10 years, he couldn't meet anyone from China because China objected meeting him. So what our government did after 2019, in the second cabinet, he was given Sports Ministry. Because China is having some insensitivity, we have to recognize that. So I'm just giving you an example. Official, but they didn't give them the Home Ministry. Instead, they gave him Sports Ministry. What is the reason? Instead, Kishan Reddy became the Minister of State for Home. Why? Because China is having certain concerns with meeting that person because he is from Arunachal Pradesh. So, and the insensitivities we have to recognize. If they are having some sensitivity, you have to recognize. If we are having some sensitivity, they have to recognize. So, we have to respect their aims, we have to respect the sensitivities, and we have to respect the mutual interest. So, avangaloda interest enna nama therinjikrom, nama interest enna avanga therinjikittu, we have to cooperate. So, it is key for repairing ties. This is just writing answer. India China question varappo in the word illama answer way forward. So that is what you have to note here. So in the matter 8 steps there are. First and foremost, already agreement we have reached, all those agreements should be respected, must be adhered in entirety. So that is the first step. It is similar to Panchila, it is an overall principle, specific. Second is, while handling the border areas concerned, line of actual control or a status quo should be respected. Whatever status quo is there, it should be respected till the dispute is solved. No one should try to unilaterally change the LAC. Okay, respected, any attempt to unilaterally change the status quo is completely unacceptable. So it should maintain the status quo till the issue is solved. Peace and tranquility in borders is the basis for development. Any disruption in the peace in the border will also disrupt the ties. So if there is an issue in border, we will also have the disruption in ties. What we did, we immediately banned all the mobile apps. We immediately banned a lot of imports. See, we were allowing, even though we had the trade deficit, we were importing them. We were importing a lot of things. But since there was a border dispute, immediately what we did? We retaliated. Even though it is at the disadvantage for us, we did it. Because if at all there is a disruption for peace and tranquility in border, we will not have normal ties in order to make it strong. So fourth, while both the nations are committed for the multipolar world, China is also asking for a multipolar world. China is telling that USA should not be the dominant unipolar thing. It is that they are aspiring for multipolar world. If you are aspiring for multipolar world, you should also accept multipolar Asia. Asia also will be multipolar. It should not be unipolar in Asia. Unipolar means China மட்டுமே Asia dominant இருக்காது. Asia there will be multiple powers like China or India or Southeast Asian nations. It should be multipolar here also. Or it can be Israel. Israel is also Asian. Generally, we don't think Israel and West Asia as Asia. So it should be recognized that fifth. See, each state will have its own interests, concerns, and priorities. Both should have sensitivity towards them. See, we did a sensitive thing since they were not. See, this is not officially accepted thing that Kiran Rijiju was not appointed. It is just an understanding now. See, we understood that sensitivity and we didn't appoint him. So the same thing should be done. See, earlier what we did, Dalai Lama had a meeting in Tawang Monastery, which was in Arunachal Pradesh. He visited Tawang Monastery. He used to visit freely. But last year, a few years back, when the visit was planned, China objected severely. In the last moment, government of India cancelled that meeting itself. So earlier, we'll allow Dalai Lama to move freely. But now what we did? Dalai Lama, you're free anywhere in India, don't go to Arunachal. So in the Mari, we respected it. It should not be one-sided. It should be both-sided, so two-sided. That is what they are telling. At the end of the day, the relationship should be reciprocal in nature. It cannot be one-sided. When we are respecting your sensitivity, you have to respect our sensitivity. Sixth, as the rising power, they are having the own set of aspiration which should be recognized. That's in the first statement. And the last one, there will be always divergences and differences. This should be managed efficiently. It should not be escalate. It should be managed. Divergence but அதை ஒழுங்கா manage பண்ணணும். So that is what they are telling. So note down all these points. This is very important 8 steps. It is also Punchil 2.1 கூட சொல்லலாம் இதை with respect to India China ties. So அதனால note down all the keywords which I have highlighted in this particular slide. So next editorial, the final editorial came yesterday is regarding global antitrust and challenge of big technologies, big tech companies. So big tech companies like like Google, Facebook, Amazon or Apple, in the mari big technology companies are creating a monopoly and they are misusing their monopolistic position. They are misusing the monopolistic position and interfering in the privacy of the consumers. And it has been very challenging for the governments to regulate them. They are struggling to regulate them. They are not having any jurisdiction. So, avanga eppadi regulate pannalam without harming the services. See, if for example we can take strict action against Google, but each and every individual in this world is dependent on Google. So adha and if we can ban WhatsApp, but WhatsApp ban pannita each and every individual are dependent on this. So adanale it is very delicate again. So what are all the issues with respect to regulation this author is discussing in this editorial. So this is okay, I didn't change the slide. Okay, nadu raathirila pandradanaala. So GS paper 3 science and technology la IT kila varum. So that is one area. Of course in GS paper 2 la enga varalana multilateral agreements la varalam. So what they are telling is we need a global multilateral treaty to regulate it. So that is where it is relevant. So ignore that thing. Okay. So worldwide investigations are going on. At one side, if you could see in European Union has filed a lot of cases against Apple. First matna Apple na. Apple and next one France and Google la, there is a very big case going, and Facebook is also facing a case in Belgium. So all the 3 big companies are facing a case everywhere. In India also we are having certain issues and we have filed certain cases. In USA every month the Senate is investigating Mark Zuckerberg. Masa either Mark Zuckerberg or Sundar Pichai will go to Senate and will be answering something. Kastapatti will be explaining. We also saw the video. Why if you are googling idiot Trump photo is coming. So அந்த மாதிரி everywhere the investigations are going on. It is also called as antitrust investigation. Antitrust investigation na enadana, see, users are having some trust on you. You are breaching the trust and misusing their the trust. So that is antitrust. So other related investigation is going. So similar thing took place. So now we are having in the internet 4. So this is also called as industry 4.0. In this era, internet is the dominant player. So similar technological disruptions came in the 1970s when the telecom industry was booming. So அப்போ வந்து AT&T is considered to be the largest telecom company there, like அவங்க ஊர்ல BSNL மாதிரி. But it is not as bad as BSNL. It is one largest company there, AT&T. So on the AT&T வந்து it was becoming a monopoly in the entire United States with respect to telecom services. So 1982 similarly there was and they were misusing their monopoly. So similarly there was an antitrust investigation against AT&T and they decided to bifurcate. So நீ ஒரு large company இருக்கிறதுனால தான் you are misusing the monopoly. Now what you have to do? You divide the company into two, make two different management so that the monopoly is not, and it should not be related with each other. They divided it and they settled it. So similarly, after 40 years, we are having another issue with respect to the internet giants. So author he has compared this both things because in the answer in the comparison essay we can write essay mari ketanga kandipa we are having scope to write the internet giants ku telecom ku ulla and the comparison enna. So in the 3 concepts புரிஞ்சிக்கிறது is very important. Then only you will understand only if you are understanding these terminologies, then only you can understand how to regulate them. Like for example, information good in the internet is non-rival consumption. Internet is having the non-rival consumption. Like non-rival consumption na என்னதுன்னா இப்போ மார்க்கெட்ல 2 பிஸ்கட் பாக்கெட் இருக்கு, கடையில 2 பிஸ்கட், the store is having only 2 biscuit packets. If I am going and buying 1 biscuit packet means you can buy only one. If I am consuming it means it is reducing the amount of consumption which you can do. That is rival consumption. If I consume, one part of it is going, only one is available for you guys which you can consume. So this is rival consumption. So telecom is a rival consumption because spectrum was limited, so that if one spectrum is used by one large telecom company means the other companies cannot use it. So that was rival consumption. But internet information which is coming from internet is non-rival consumption. Like for example, if WhatsApp is taking our personal data and consuming it, the same data, it will not affect Google's consumption because Google also can take the same data and they can use it. Even Facebook also can take the same data and use it. So one company consuming the information of or data will not affect the consumption of another one. So this is non-rival consumption. Like for example, road, take the example of road is a non-rival consumption because if one person is using the road means another person cannot use it. One person can drive a car, another person also can drive a car. So அதுதான் இந்த non-rival consumption ஓட meaning. So information good of the internet is non-rival because consumption of one does not affect other person. Whoever is having the internet connection they can use. So this is one aspect, but telecom was rival. So that is the difference. So அதனால இதோட regulation difficult-ஆ இருக்கு. Second non-excludable. Again, telecom consumption was non-excludable. Excludable means it is open to all. For example, telecom consumption, you need to get an internet line. Sorry, mobile you have to apply for the government. You have to get the telephone line, landline வாங்கின பிறகு you have to use. Then you have to pay the bill. இந்த மாதிரி பல regulations இருந்தனால many people couldn't consume. But with respect to internet, we are using the same telecom communication தான். Mobile communication, telecom communication அங்க excludable தான். அதை யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறோம். But whatever there in internet is non-excludable. Google is open to all. Everyone can use it and they are not charging anything. If you want to use telecom, you have to pay money. But if you want to use Google, you are not paying money. Pull the difference. If Amazon Prime consume you have to pay money. But if you want to consume YouTube, you are not paying money. Both are what? They are video streaming apps now. Amazon Prime video streaming now, YouTube video streaming now. But YouTube is non-excludable. Anyone can consume. But Amazon Prime is excludable. Only the rich can consume. Only those people who are having money can consume. So that is the non-excludable principle. So since it is non-excludable in the Google, Facebook or YouTube, in the mari like or WhatsApp, these companies are giving their services for free for us. We are not paying for Google. We are just paying Airtel for our communication. But so here, what is the profit for Google then? Then why they have to run it? So what is the thing which is coming means subtle trade-off of personal data for availing the service. Okay, I am giving you Google for free. I am giving you WhatsApp for free. In return, I am taking your data. Okay, nama Google kadikla, nama data kuduthalla, we are also giving our data. So we are selling it is not free. We are selling our data and we are consuming it. So since it is free, they need some model to monetize it. Okay, Google needs money. Facebook needs money. How they are monetizing it? They are taking our data and they are finding patents and they are selling that patent to the firms who can use that for marketing and getting money. They can use that patent for advertising and they can earn money. So நம்ம ஃப்ரீ நினைச்சிட்டு இருக்கோம், பட் சின்ஸ் இட் இஸ் ஃப்ரீ சர்வீஸ், பட் சின்ஸ் இட் இஸ் அ பிரைவேட் கம்பெனி, தே நீட் மணி. ஸோ ஃபார் மேக்கிங் மணி தே ஆர் யூசிங் அவர் டேட்டா. ஸோ இங்கே தான் இங்கே பிரச்சனை. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் அ ப்ராப்ளம் வித் ரெஸ்பெக்ட் டு நான் ரைவல் அண்ட் நான் எக்ஸ்க்ளூடபிள் குட். இஃப் இட் இஸ் அ ரைவல் குட் ஆர் இஃப் இட் இஸ் அன் எக்ஸ்க்ளூடபிள் ரூட், யூ கேன் சார்ஜ் இட் அண்ட் யூ கேன் ஈஸிலி ரெகுலேட் இட். சின்ஸ் இட் இஸ் நான் எக்ஸ்க்ளூடபிள், இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு மிஸ்யூஸ் நடக்குது. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் வாட் த திங் இஸ். அண்ட் நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் இஸ் தேர் இஸ் நோ ஜூரிஸ்டிக்ஷன். Telecom will have jurisdiction because you have to establish a tower there, you have to establish your operations in the loan, you have to buy spectrum here. But Google will not. Establish பண்ண தேவையில்ல. Google you can easily operate, you can access. They no need to establish any base in India for the Indian users to use it. So telecoms are regulated within jurisdictional boundaries, whereas internet giants lack jurisdiction. So in the three problems நால தான், non-rival consumption, non-exclusivity and lack of jurisdiction, in the three reasons நால தான் regulation of these three people is becoming very difficult. Like for example, take another good like road and everything. Road is a good which is non-rival, which is non-excludable. You cannot exclude someone from using the road. So it is non-rival and non-excludable. Who is putting the road? Private sector போடுறாங்களா? Government is putting the road. Of course we are having PPP, but ultimately government is putting the road. In society, wherever you are seeing a non-rival good or a non-excludable good, it is being provided to people by government. Construction of bridge. Bridgeங்கிறது government தான் construct பண்றாங்க. So when government is doing it, what is happening? Government is not having profit motive. So government can tax the citizens and use that money and put the road. So whenever there is a good which is non-rival or non-excludable, it should be provided by government. When this non-rival and non-excludable good is being provided by private players, means then the issue of monetization is coming. Government will not try to monetize. So எப்போ toll plaza வந்தது? When private came in, toll plaza came in, they monetized the road. புரியுதா? So government மட்டும் கொடுத்துட்டு இருக்கிற போடல. So when a good is non-rival or non-excludable, government should give. When private is coming, that is leading to need of profits and that is leading to all this misuse of things. So what the author is telling this, government should come in front and they should take the lead. Or global level or agreement கொண்டு வந்து government should be the major player for regulating them. So அதுதான் இதுல இருக்க மிகப்பெரிய crisis. Since non-rival and non-excludable have characteristics of public good. So public good now. So what is a public good? Public good is a common for all public. You cannot exclude another person from consumption. அதான் வந்து public good. So அந்த மாதிரி public good இருக்கிறதுனால, if government provides, there is no necessity for monetization. Since private players are providing, they have to monetize it. So இன்னொரு முக்கிய பெரிய issue என்னதுன்னா, so இங்க வந்து the argument is coming that government should play the major role. Okay, இங்க மட்டும் எழுத முடியல. So here the argument is coming that government should play the major role. Next, they are creating a network effect. So network effect na enadana, like for example, if you Facebook is a network or WhatsApp is a network, like network na enadana, it functions based on the participation of large number of individuals. Facebook will function only if large number of people are participating. WhatsApp will function only if your friend group la I am only having WhatsApp. None of my friends is having WhatsApp means there is no use for me to join WhatsApp. If I am joining WhatsApp, then all my friends should come. Then only I can use WhatsApp. Otherwise, I cannot use WhatsApp. So, for an individual to use this particular good, a network is needed. Their entire group should also come in. So, in the mari nature la dhaan ellame irukku. Gmail or YouTube all these things. So, network effect of these platforms aim at increasing the market base. So, naturally, their motive, motive for growth is to increase the market base now, increase the participants now. Appo dhaan their good will be efficient. So, when will Google can earn more money? If more number of people are using Google Maps, or more number of people are using the Google means more number of data, they can sell the more number of data means more profit for them. So அதனால market base increase பண்ண வேண்டியதா இருக்கு. So this is leading to monopoly. So இதனால என்ன ஆகுது? They need a lot of customers. So அந்த customer base increase பண்றதுனால these customer base increase ஆறதுனால they are getting the dominant position and they are creating a monopoly. எப்படி இந்த monopoly create பண்றாங்கன்னா, they are starting it and they are increasing the customers. அவங்களுக்கு இன்னொரு competitor வரதுக்குள்ள the nature of this food is in such a way that it is easily addictive or like Google, WhatsApp or Facebook addictive. இன்னொரு rival வரதுக்குள்ள they are becoming a large player because of the network issue. So அதுக்குள்ள என்ன ஆகுது? When a rival is coming, these people are becoming large and they are already establishing the monopoly. Now they are blocking the other person from coming. இப்போ Instagram வந்தோன what Facebook did? They purchased Instagram. WhatsApp வந்தோன what Facebook did? They purchased the WhatsApp. They are not allowing the rivals to come in. If at all rival is emerging means they are purchasing the rival. So that the competition should not be there. So that only monopoly is there they can do. So அதனால என்ன பண்ணிடுறாங்க? They are anti-competitive behavior. They are buying off the rivals and they are predatory pricing. இன்னொன்னு என்னதுன்னா வந்து ஜியோ பண்ண மாதிரி ஃப்ரீயா கொடுத்து எல்லா கன்சூமரையும் they will be getting there, they will be giving it for free for 9 months, they will be getting all the consumers. Once they all started using, once they are becoming addicted, then they will be charging. So when they are giving it for free, all the users from other networks, from Aircel and all, they move to Jio. So Aircel காலியானதுக்கு முக்கியமான காரணமே ஜியோ தான். So now what is happening? The competitor is going. This is called a predatory pricing. My price will be in such a way that I will be killing another person. Predator means what? It is killing another person. Creating entry barriers. So Google is doing a lot of this, creating entry barriers. So what is this creating entry barriers? So for example, I am starting a map app called Adil Maps னு ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன். Navigation app. நான் நேவிக் யூஸ் பண்றேன். Like in Atma Nirbhar Bharat கீழ I'm getting the fund to start Adil Maps, where I'm using our Navic, our own constellation, to bring in our own GPS. So in the app வந்து where I have to go and place for to sell it to you. I have to go and place in Google Play Store. Then if at all you want, if a person is using, if you want to use, what you'll do, you'll go to Google and type for Adil Maps. So what Google is doing, when a competitor is coming, when the persons are doing the Google search, it is not displaying their competitors. First one, the Google map தான் வருது. My Adil Map is coming in the 4th place. So they are not allowing the new player to entry. அதே மாதிரி வந்து Play Storeல வந்து they are hiding it. So அவங்களுடைய competitor, இப்போ for example வந்து YouTube தவிர வேற ஏதாவது ஒரு free streaming app சொல்லுங்க. Dream Motion ஒன்னு இருக்கு. So there is no competitor for YouTube because Google is not allowing the rivals in the search engine. The search engine and the dominant, so not allowing the rivals to entry. So இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறதுனால தான் they are able to create the monopoly. So இந்த மாதிரி இந்த network effect or non-rival nature or non-excludability or jurisdictional boundaries. So these are all the 4 important issues which is making the regulation of these tech companies very difficult. And it is difficult to ban due to over dependence on them. See, if you want to take a strict action against WhatsApp, means people will be worrying. Even though we all know that WhatsApp tried to bring in some privacy disruption, what happened then? Everyone were telling that go to Signal. எல்லாரும் Signal install பண்ணிடும். How many of them are using? Because if you want to use Signal, your friends also should come. Your family also should come. Your KingMakers also should come. They should come and start a group. Then only everyone will use Signal. So this network effect இருக்கிறதுனால the new players couldn't enter inside. So அதுதான் வந்து it is creating the major issues. It is difficult to ban and the network effect prevents from rivals from growing. So these are all the issues. So note down the issue. இந்த இருந்து எந்த question வந்தாலும் you can write. So what is the way forward? So 3 way forward is telling. First வந்து tax subsidy. இவங்க வந்து they are not complying with any regulatory norms. So எப்படி வந்து we can make them to comply the norms? Provide them some tax subsidy. If you are compiling these norms, I will provide you the subsidy. Of course, it is a loss for the government da. But since the regulation is becoming very difficult, at least this can be an incentive. Okay, Google, if you are doing this norms, if you are protecting the privacy means, I will give you some subsidy. So in the Mari, I will give you some priority. In the Mari, you can provide tax subsidies for, sir? Okay, you can provide tax subsidy for them. Next one, the government mandated market access for the competitors. Competitors, government should come and regulate. See, government of India was running bank. Okay, when private bank came, what happened? Then only the Reserve Bank of India came. Reserve Bank of India came and it became a neutral body. It started regulating the government banks and private banks. So we need a neutral regulator which is regulating these two people. So if for example, so அந்த மாதிரி வந்து like for example railways இப்போ வந்து private ஆக போகுதுன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. Then Indian Railways should not be the regulator. If for example privatization of railway happens and private trains are coming means Indian Railways cannot be regulated because they are also participant only. So Indian Railways and private sector should compete with each other. Then there is a necessity for a private independent regulator like RBI to regulate the railways. So அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு independent regulator இருந்தாதான் we can ensure that competitors are ending. Adil Maps அப்பதான் it will grow. Next one is strong public voice. The strong public voice is another tool because we saw pre-basics னு ஒரு விஷயத்தை வந்து Facebook tried to bring in 2016. Pre-basics னா என்னதுன்னா இந்த DTH மாதிரி like எப்படின்னா ஒரு பேக்கேஜ் மாதிரி இந்த டேட் இப்போ வந்து they had this tie up with Airtel. So Airtel கூட tie up வச்சோன்னா என்னதுன்னா pre-basics is a thing where நீங்க 50 ரூபாய்க்கு ரீசார்ஜ் பண்ணீங்கன்னா you can use internet where you can use only 4 websites or 5 websites. Like for example Facebook, Google, YouTube or Amazon Prime. இந்த 4 இதை மட்டும் நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். You can use only these 4 for 50 rupees. Internet is an open source. It should be free. You can the Airtel can just provide you the internet connection. Which website you are going, which thing you are consuming is is the discretion of the individual. But they try to bring in this barrier. Like DTH services are giving. Now தராங்களே ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ்க்கு வந்து தனி பேக். நீங்க 100 ரூபாய் கட்டினா ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் சேனல் மட்டும் பார்க்கலாம். So அந்த similar model இன்டர்நெட்ல கொண்டு வரலாம்னு Facebook decided to bring. But there was a huge outlash since it is affecting the net neutrality. Net neutrality na இதுதான். Which website I'm consuming and how I'm consuming the internet is the discretion of the user, not the discretion of the service provider. So on the net neutrality against a huge outlash in the pre-basics concept they threw away. And next one, the privacy norms of WhatsApp. What happened? Because of the huge outlash, what happened? Government also pressurized the WhatsApp, and WhatsApp have delayed it. Of course, they didn't take back, they have just delayed it. So when there is a huge outlash from the government, from the people, government will go and stop it. Pre-basics on the phone, government came and intervened. Now privacy issue on the government is coming and intervening. So people get on, we should create awareness. So that is the third important thing. So people should be given the awareness. So these are all the three ways which the author is giving. Okay. So with this note, we have come to the end. Okay guys, உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது doubt இருக்கா? We have come to the end of the 5 editorials. So if you are having any doubts, you can ask me. Yeah, see, NSC na enadha nuclear supplier group. Adha member aita vandu we can get more access for uranium. More access for uranium means more nuclear power plant we can establish. So more uranium will go to Kudamkulam and other nuclear power plant. So more nuclear energy na will be substituting it the coal. Nariya nuclear energy vandaduna. See, nuclear energy is considered to be eco-friendly. It is considered to be eco-friendly compared to coal. Coal and thermal power plants, nuclear energy is considered to be pollution-free. The only issue with nuclear energy is that the discarding of waste. Matabadi, it is not affecting the carbon emissions. So more nuclear energy means less carbon emissions, so we can achieve. So actually we are having this target of 40% non-fossil fuel sources. By 2030, India will achieve 40% of its electricity from non-fossil fuel sources. So non-fossil fuel sources, the nuclear energy is there. So going into energy will help us. That is a logic. Okay, Deepan, with respect to farm subsidies, some companies too are using those subsidies. Yes. Even though they consume subsidy again, they are going to invest that in their company. Thus, it will increasing the GDP. Yes, Deepan, it will increase the GDP, no doubt about it. Deepan enna solrarna, with respect to farm subsidies, some companies are also using the subsidies. But even though this company is using subsidies, means that private company will grow, that will lead to increase in GDP. Yes, that is true. Increase in GDP that will happen, but our aim to provide farm subsidy is to improve the conditions of farmers. Whether farmer or condition improve, farm loans are given to farmers. So that is the issue here. Okay, what is non-rival and non-excludable? Okay, non-rival, again I'm telling, non-rival consumption means, see, there is 5 biscuit packets and we are 100 people. If I am consuming 2 biscuit packets, means what will happen? The rest of the 99 people can consume only 3 biscuit packets. So my consumption of the good is affecting the consumption of other people. If I consume more, the consumption of other people will go. So that is rival consumption, because we are rivalries. Non-rival consumption means my consumption of the good will not affect the others from consuming it. Like for example, if my consumption of road is not going to affect the consumption of road by you, you can also use the road. So that's the rival consumption. Excludable na, what are all the barriers, entry barriers? Like for example, Amazon Prime ko YouTube ko example adudha. If a person wants to consume Amazon Prime, he have to pay the subscription of how much? What is the rate? 600 எவ்வளவுப்பா கேட்கல 129. ஆனா YouTube consume பண்றதுக்கு no need of money. YouTube consumption is free. That is not excludable. Anyone can consume YouTube. But Amazon Prime consumption is excludable because those person who is having 120 rupees only can consume it. So that is excludability, where we are charging the consumption of particular good. If tax subsidies are given to big tech companies, how would the government know that they are protecting the privacy 100%? Of course, Deepan, is an hypothetical situation. We can't know whether they are protecting the privacy. It is a delicate thing. Just here they are giving the suggestion. That's it. The same doubt I also had when I read it. So what he's asking is, I told that government can give subsidy so that they are protecting the data. But how we know that they are protecting the data? So that is the issue there. So that's why the larger solution here is, these services should have been provided by government. Government or state should have provided the services. Okay, thank you, Karthik. Oh, Hamsa, oh, my friend is attending. Thank you, Hamsa. That's a good session. 130 rupees. Okay. Yeah, சொல்லுங்க. கூகுளோட மேஜர் சோர்ஸ் இஸ் அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்ட். கூகுள் வந்து செனட்ல என்ன சொன்னாங்க, தேர் வாஸ் அன் இன்வெஸ்டிகேஷன் அகைன்ஸ்ட் கூகுள் அண்ட் சுந்தர் பிச்சை செட், ஒரு எம்பி கேட்டாங்க வாட் இஸ் த சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் இன்கம் ஃபார் கூகுள். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சோர்ஸ் ஆஃப் இன்கம் இஸ் அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்ட். நீங்க இப்போ கூகுள் போறீங்கன்னா இன் ஆல் தி வெப்சைட் விச் எவர் வெப்சைட் இஸ் யூசிங் கூகுள், ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் யூ ஆர் கோயிங் ஹிந்து வெப்சைட், தி ஹிந்து வெப்சைட் நீங்க போனீங்கன்னா இஃப் யூ ஆர் கோயிங் த்ரூ த ஹிந்து வெப்சைட் த்ரூ கூகுள்னா, if you are using the Google platform, na, Hindu website is having blank spaces in the website which can be given to Google, where Google can advertise it. So now on the KingMakers IAS Academy, if I want to do advertisement, what I will do, I will pay to Google. Google enna பண்ணுவாங்க, I will pay to Google and tell that Hindu paper la you publish it. So what Google will do, Google will publish that ad in the Hindu papers website, and it will charge money from me, and it will also pay the share to Hindu also because they are using its spaces. So this is the advertising model. This is a major source of income for Google. Apart from that, they are doing many small businesses also. Google tax is something for, yeah, that is what we brought. Google tax என்னது, இப்போ KingMakers IAS Academy decided to put an advertisement in Google. So for that, Google charged KingMakers IAS Academy 100 rupees. Okay. So what Google tax is telling, instead of paying 100 rupees to Google, you just pay 94 rupees to Google. Rest of the 6 rupees you pay to government. Suppose just like how a company is paying GST returns. So ஒரு கம்பெனி ஜிஎஸ்டி ரிட்டர்ன்ஸ் எப்படி பண்றாங்க, மக்கள் கிட்ட இருந்து கலெக்ட் பண்ணி கொடுக்குறாங்களா, so like that you pay the tax on behalf of Google by cutting down the if Google is billing you 100 rupees means pay only 94, pay the rest of the 6% to us. If Google is not accepting, then they have to accept it because they are in India. So that is one thing. Otherwise government will prohibit the advertising thing in India. And only 16 GB is free. KingMakers உடைய நம்ம Google Drive வந்து what we are using more than 200 GB எங்க டிரைவ்ல இருக்கு. So we are paying Google for using the cloud. More than 60 GB if you want to use means either you can start a new email ID and use, but they are also giving private services to use their cloud. If you want to use Google Drive to store 100 GB of data means you can pay. So Zoho or Amazon, everyone are running the cloud services, even Google is running. See, National Shipping Board is a advisory board for the Ministry of Shipping for making the policies with respect to shipping. It is just an advisory board. Directorate General of Shipping is the executive body which is implementing the policies on the ground. See, for example, Monetary Policy Committee oda role enna? See, not Monetary Policy Committee. Like RBI oda role is to implement do the regulation. Adha the Directorate General of Shipping is doing. But in general, law, Chief Economic Advisor is advising the government to make law. So andha mari da. It is just an advisory body to the government. A topic out of the One Nation, One Election, okay, amendments in Constitution. See, One Nation, One Election implement பண்ணும்போது what are all the amendments needed in the Constitution? So Deepan is asking a doubt out of the topic. So One Nation, One Election ல வந்து if you want to implement it, அதாவது simultaneous election. So simultaneously the election for both Lok Sabha and State Assembly will take place in all the states. But for that to implement, why the constitutional amendment தேவைன்னு கேக்குறாரு. Constitutional amendment தேவைன்னா, like for example, if government is deciding to bring simultaneous election in 2022 means what will happen? Tamil Nadu's legislature just would have started 1 year தான் ஆகிருக்கு. Tamil Nadu's legislative assembly will have 4 more years to go. ஏன்னா next election for Tamil Nadu is in 2026, but they will be bringing it in 2022. So what you have to do in order to implement it, you have to curtail the tenure of Tamil Nadu legislative assembly by 1 year. Similarly, Karnataka only 3 years would have gone. For Uttar Pradesh 4 years would have gone. So you have to curtail the existing assemblies. So according to the Constitution of India, Assembly's tenures can be curtailed only in 2 cases. One, when Assembly is dissolved, or when no party is having the majority, or when the tenure of the Assembly is ending after 5 years. So in the 3 conditions you can dissolve. This One Nation, One Election is a new thing. So that thing should be added in the Constitution in order to curtail the already existing assemblies. There is another catch here. Now what happened in 2022, government is bringing One Nation and One Election. So simultaneously for Lok Sabha and for all the states elections are going. What if in Punjab there is a hung assembly and after 2 years that assembly is dissolving? So now we have to keep another election for Punjab. Anyway, this is going to disrupt only. So till 1967, all over India we had One Nation, One Election only. Because all the elections started in 1951, 1952. 1952 till 67, all the state governments and Lok Sabha election were aligning only. And the disruption varla. So 1967 onwards only, this assembly started to getting dissolved, and the new 2 வருஷத்துலயே 3 வருஷத்துலயே வந்து president rules were invoked. அதனால தான் that momentum was disrupted and this election cycle came. So in order to implement it, you need a provision to curtail the tenure of assembly, which should be added in the constitution. So that is a necessity. Onnuda. Multilateral and plurilateral both are same. Regulation are not equal. Well, one of the reasons we need to plan. Yes, yes, Karthik Kumar, it is very impossible. Okay, any other doubts? Shall we wind up for the day? So, okay, guys, we'll wind up for the day. So, thank you for joining. Please do the revision. So, don't just see the video and leave the classes. You do the regular revision, then only it will be helpful. Thank you. We'll meet next week. So, next week we'll be having a tough job because we have to study even this economic survey.